The chase on the verge of greatness. Alex Ovechkin closing in on a magic number, anticipating a coronation.
What could be a historic afternoon here in Elmont, New York. Alex Ovechkin tied with the great one who is in the building, Wayne Gretzky, 894 career goals.
Crisscrossing with Chikrin through center. Send in Wilson on the flank. Cross ice, Ovechkin fires! He scores! The chasing days are done!
Ovechkin scores 895! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
And his name is Alexander Ovechkin! He has done it!
Welcome into NHL Tonight First Shift. Gr8 alongside Stu Grimson for Monday, April the 7th, 2025. And it was a pretty big Sunday in NHL history as Alex Ovechkin completes the chase. He ends up scoring at UBS Arena against the Islanders in the second period on the power play from a spot that he is familiar with scoring from to set a new all-time career record for goals scored. Alex Ovechkin now at the top of the mountain ahead of Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. Astonishing that he's done it at all. Astonishing that he's done it in this way, EJ. He is, over the course of his career, can you imagine that? The ripe old age of 39 years of age, this is tied for the third most productive, just on a goals per game basis of his career. When we start, projecting out that this is within reach for him, always in that, you have to kind of factor in an assumption. Well, as he hits 37, 38, 39, and perhaps even before, he should be tailing off, right? He's having a year that looks every bit as much as his prime.
42 goals in 61 games.
Remarkable, absolutely astonishing. I mean, there were plenty of, seasons in his prime, so to speak, where he's having 35-ish, goals. But really astonishing that he's been able to put up these kind of numbers at this stage of his career.
Yeah, to that point, just the other night, he passed Gordie Howe, I believe, on a list for most goals scored after the age of 30, after his 30th birthday. Right. So, to your point, he seems just to be as good or better than he's ever been in the past. And if he didn't get hurt this year, you wonder if he would have scored 50 again.
Right.
Because I said he's got 42 and he had missed some time during the season. For me, it has just been, Stu, the longevity for this guy. He has been able to stay relatively healthy throughout most of his career. He's a different type of athlete, obviously. He's a big, strong man that was more of a physical hitter earlier in his career.
Yeah.
He has kind of toned that back a little bit now. With age comes wisdom, we hope, and he slides into those spots now, as you saw the goal that passed Wayne Gretzky, slid into a spot, accepted that pass, and then just has that drive and that willingness and just the great strength just to overpower a goaltender.
The full explanation really requires you to put some things in context, versus Gordie, versus Wayne even, who is, just a generation prior to Ovi breaking in. The game has changed, right? The science around the game has changed. The way athletes train today has changed. We train round the calendar now. That wasn't always the case. The medicine involved, the equipment really has played a factor at the same time. So all those things are factors that I think favor Ovi now in this, this more recent period. But I want to make this point, EJ. The one element that is just, has to be tabled where Ovechkin is concerned. There is a lion-sized heart that beats inside the chest of this man that has allowed him to do this first and foremost. Yes, it has to do with the skill set. It has to do with all those other elements. And it has to do with his teammates at the end of the day, too. He's played with some brilliant players. But Ovi is driven. He is one of the most determined athletes to ever strap on a pair of boots and play at this level. And I think that's a factor that really shines perhaps as brightly as any of them.
And he loves to score. I mean, and that cannot be underestimated because, there's guys who like to score and like to win and they can have different roles in hockey. this guy lives to score goals, and he just loves it, and I think that's been a big part of it. I can remember, Stu, going back to one of the first times I saw Alex Ovechkin play. He was playing for Team Russia at the World Junior Championships in 2003, and I believe it was in Halifax, and on Boxing Day, or the 26th of December, 2002, played Team USA. I believe they won 5-1 in the game, and he scored a goal off his back foot in the high slot that a 16 or 17-year-old kid should not be able to generate that kind of velocity in that circumstance. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy is, because at the time, he was the next one coming along, him and a young Sidney Crosby. I was like, wow, this guy is something special, and he has lived up to all the hype, and years later, that desire, that drive, that love to score, and the ability to stay healthy and play with good teammates. Yeah. Nick Backstrom was there yesterday. Now he's got Dylan Strome. He's got guys that are getting him the puck, whose net's off at different points of his career. It'll all come together for him, which has to come together if you're going to establish a record like this in your lifetime. Yeah, it takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of things falling into place for you, without question. And it helps to have great teammates. He's had really impactful teammates, kind of running shotgun for him over the course of his career. You've made this point in the past. I tend to agree with it too. How productive he's been at this late stage of his career. Yes, it's explained by his athleticism, his ability to take care of himself, again, that drive and determination along with the skill set. But two, these are some elite teams he's playing for. I mean, I don't think any team has turned it around in the recent 5 or 6 years like this Washington Capitals team has. It's been just astonishing. The night and day difference almost between who they were a couple of years ago, who they are today. This group's having a whole lot of fun. The Ovechkin chase is almost a incidental to all this because they're having a brilliant year. But that's played a factor as well. Yeah, no question about it. And I thought it was fitting that he scores this goal from, that general spot on the ice. I mean, I think we have some of the numbers on, like, how he has scored over there. I mean, he scores from everywhere, obviously. But, I mean, that area on that, that left side, the off-wing side for a right-hand shooter. Heavy concentration. There's a lot going on over there. And, like, he's been doing it all these years, and it's almost like one of these things, like, I'm here. Can you stop me? Yeah. And the answer has been pretty much no. Because it's a two-edged sword, right? If you shade over there, you're leaving other options open. But it has been a challenge over time just to cover him in that spot. I will say, and this is a great teaching point for a lot of you young amateur players out there, boys and girls aspiring to make it to a higher level. He didn't fall out of bed hitting that spot or hitting that shot from that spot. It's a lot, and I'm not talking about game reps either. I'm talking, it's a lot of reps over a long period of time. We're all familiar with the 10,000 repetition rule. Yeah. It's a lot of reps from that spot. He can hit it without thinking. The way your fingers cross a computer keyboard, you're not thinking of those individual keys that you're hitting. You do it because you're well versed in it. That's Ovi from that spot, and that's him hitting vulnerable spots on the net because he's done those reps. Yeah, just an amazing story, a record I have to say I never thought would be broken, but I guess they say records are meant to be broken. Who knows? Yeah. But we know this much. The new all-time goal leader in the National Hockey League, in the history of this league, is now Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. We got a great show for you today. We're going to have more stuff on Ovi. Craig Laughlin's going to join us later. We got Pat Ferschweiler from the Western Michigan Broncos going to the Frozen Four. And how about the Blues? They don't lose anymore. We'll talk about them next on First Shift. All right, let's take a look at the Western Conference playoff picture. You see that race at the top of the Central, the Stars closing in on the Jets. Can they get there? They play later in the week. The St. Louis Blues, I don't know what to say. Do you just St. Louis? They have won 12 games in a row. They are sitting there in that first wild card spot right now. They're 5 points behind the Avs. I don't think they're going to catch them, but I mean, who knows? They've beaten them twice in this stretch, and they've just played some great hockey. I mean, how are they doing it?
Fast. They play fast, play really fast. They're getting great goaltending. Bennington has really dialed it up. You know, it was funny, EJ, for really fair to say 2/3, half for sure, 2/3 of this season, the Blues were fairly irrelevant. You know, not out of it, but not really close to
not in it. On everybody's mind when we talked about the West.
Yeah, there were other teams you saw trending that you know, likely to pull down a spot. But I'll tell you what, this group has strung together some wins. Yeah. Monty has them going in the right direction. It sure looks great on Jim Montgomery. But they're playing fast. They're generating a whole lot of offense. I was actually just in St. Louis last weekend for a cancer benefit. My old friend, your friend, Kelly Chase. That town is buzzing about their Blues, and it's been a really fun circumstance to be around, to be a part of. But you know, anytime a group does well, you got to be able to point to 6 or 8 or more players that are really putting together special runs. They got a lot of the parts going in the right direction. Kairu's been great. You know, Holloway's been great. Bennington, I mentioned. It's, you know, Justin Falk has been solid for this group. It's just been a lot of guys. You can spread the explanation across, you know, a lot of different players on this roster.
A lot of people are contributing. They're going to get Colton Parayko back at some point. Unfortunately, Holloway got dinged up week to week, but they're hoping to get him back.
Robert Thomas has been one of the hottest players on a points productions basis since the Four Nations tournament. I don't think anybody's put up more numbers, stronger numbers than Robert Thomas. It's been remarkable.
Since that Four Nations break, the Blues have been terrific. Bennington's been good. Hofer, when he's been in there, been good. And some told me that it was a good opportunity for Montgomery to have a couple of practice days with his group there, and that helped kind of restart. Bennington came in hot off how things went for Team Canada at the Four Nations. So the St. Louis Blues, what a story. And they're on our air tonight on the NHL Network, 7:30 Eastern time. A great game against the Winnipeg Jets. It is possible that these two teams could meet in a first-round series. Hellebuck and Binnington again head-to-head.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. It really would be. You know, Binnington's been an interesting case study for me. You go back to, you know, the year out of nowhere that he helps backstop that St. Louis Blues team to their first ever championship. And watching him since, you know, it's almost as though he's got to kind of have that chip on his shoulder for him to really lock it in and to play well. So, you know, if that's your MO as an athlete, how do you replicate that that motivation all the time? Because it can kind of escape you. But the point I want to make is, I hope, and perhaps this could be the turning point, the confidence he gains coming out of the Four Nations tournament, maybe that parlays into, you know, more stable, consistent service from him over time. It certainly looks like that going forward. Let's hope so, because, you know, it's sure, you can tell the difference it makes for these Blues. No, you got a red-hot Binnington, you got a shot. You got a shot to make some noise this year.
Confident guy, and he brings that confidence, I think, extends out to the team. Now, you were in St. Louis, second year that we've had, I guess it's the puck cancer.
There's me and my old buddy.
And there's Kelly Chase, he is fighting the good fight.
Is he ever?
Dealing with trying to overcome cancer. And he, to me, and that's just a great shot of you guys, and you played in the games this weekend, he's always the first guy to help someone else.
Oh, gosh.
And that's always been my take on Kelly over the years. And so it's great that people like yourself, there was a whole group of people, NHL media, or not NHL alumni people that were there in St. Louis helping to support him raising money for cancer research. So to Kelly, man, hang in there, baby. He is one of the toughest guys you're going to find. And the other thing, as I said, he is someone that whenever anyone needs help, he is the first guy out the door. So it's good to see people stepping up for Kelly, and that's a great of you to be involved over the weekend.
EJ, can I just tell you, like, I've been around the block in this world and in this league. I know some tough guys. I know some really tough hombres. That man that you just put on the screen is the most determined human being that I know. You know, sick as he is, battling as hard as he is, let me just make this point real quick. Like, he's 170 pounds right now. He played at 210, 215 maybe-ish. Yeah. He's 170 pounds right now, but just don't overlook the eyes. There's a lot of life in those eyeballs right now. Like, there's still a whole lot of gleam and a lot of vigor behind those eyes. But just to complete the point, raising $1 million in a weekend at a cancer benefit, yes, there's a lot of people involved, but it starts with one man, and it's Gr8 Chase. Sick as he is the driving force behind this, and it's happened 2 years in a row now. But before it's ever personal for him, to your point, he's out doing it. He's lending a hand in whatever way he can, in other walks of life, in other noble causes. Kelly is that's the biggest heart I know, across the spectrum.
He's always done it.
Unique individual.
He's always done it. He's always there for others. So, Kelly, we love you. Keep fighting the battle and
keep moving forward, buddy.
Listen, maybe we'll see how Kelly feels. At some point, maybe we can get him on the show. I would love to. Yeah. It's up to Kelly to see how he feels, but we'd love to get him on. So hang in there, my friend. Speaking of hanging in there, in the East, Montreal Canadiens, 5 wins in a row.
And I'll tell you what.
Stacking wins. If you could stack wins, you could get that playoff spot. Yeah. The Canadiens have done it, and some of these wins have been in really impressive fashion, and here they are. They're in the driver's seat right now, up by 6 points.
6-point cushion at the start of the year. I don't know that a lot of folks giving these guys a chance, but again, it's a lot of people, right? Montembeault has been really solid for these guys. Lane Hudson is one of the brightest, most brilliant stories in our game today that we're spending a whole lot of time.
Calder Trophy or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think unequivocally. Anytime a defender has forward-like numbers or better, and he does have better, he's got, I think, a 4-point cushion on Celebrini in number 2. I think you've just got to. He's brilliant. He's a game breaker out there. He's a whole lot of fun to watch. But Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield has been great. Yeah. It's just a lot of folks going in the right direction. You got to give Marty St. Louis a whole lot of credit for this. He is pulling all the right levers, and this group is, it's been fun too. I think it's great for that market, and the game is in a better place when somebody like Patrick Laine is a threat again. I mean, this guy's a real weapon.
Had a big goal last night.
Yeah, and he really looks like he's settled into a spot. It's early days, I think, for Laine and the Habs, but he's been an impactful contributor as well.
Well, he's killing it on the power play for sure. I think almost all of his goals are on the power play, but Nick Suzuki.
Yeah.
The captain, one of the young, it might be the youngest captain in Montreal Canadiens history.
Yeah.
I mean, he has really picked it up. He's had a great year, but when the games have gotten big, boy, he has come up big. I think he's got 5 goals in overtime this year.
Yeah, and too, you and I know well, that's a whole nother level of responsibility. Yeah. A captain, a non-English speaking captain in that market.
Non-French speaking captain, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, non-English speaking, non-French speaking. That's a heavy load to carry. So if you can do that effectively, carry that responsibility for your club, for your roster, and still be able to have your game talk in the way that it does, my hat is off to you, because it doesn't always go that way. Montreal's like a lot of markets in this respect. There is no better place to play when the club's going well, but boy, they can be hard on you. It's life in a microscope, and they can be hard on you when it's not going well. A lot of pressure to play there. It takes a mature, experienced, well-grounded individual and group of individuals to be able to do what this group is doing. So hats off to all of them. It looks great. They look like they've got their ticket punched, and it'd be fun to see them make some noise.
Some work to do still.
Yeah.
New York Rangers play at home tonight against Tampa Bay Lightning. They really need a win in that game as they move forward. It's time now for our 3 stars of the month of March, presented by Geico, and we can take a look here. You can see that Jordan Binnington just talked about him, 3rd star. John Tavares has had an unbelievable month. Look at those numbers for Tavares in March. He's hoping to carry it right into April, and the same for Jack Eichel. What a year for Jack Eichel. Hart Trophy type season for Eichel, playing such great hockey. Geico and the NHL have launched the NHL 4th Star, presented by Geico. a fan appreciation program that recognizes dedicated hockey fans alongside the NHL's monthly 3-star players. Let's meet this month's 2 4th stars.
Hi, I'm Gary,
And I'm Ann.
and we're founding fans of the Seattle Kraken.
And the NHL's 4th Star of the Month, presented by Geico.
Each month, Geico and the NHL are finding the most devoted fan that gives more to their team.
Do you all find out about our game day traditions?
You're gonna tell them?
Let's go Kraken!
Anything that we're interested in, we really want to be into it. It was really cool to be one of the very first to get in there and be on this team.
This is it.
Right from the beginning, day one.
Going to all the home games is really important to us. We actually plan our year around it.
We want to be kind of consistent about our game day routine.
We get into our game day outfits.
Got the Kraken socks.
I've worn these earrings since day one.
We've been collecting game day pucks. We probably have around 200 to 250 pucks.
The fan advantage is having us cheer. I know they can really hear us when we're at our loudest. We score that goal and the whole place goes nuts. It's really supercharged in the arena.
Wow, those are some fans right there. I love that. Hey, Alex Ovechkin, big day yesterday. On the call, our buddy Craig Laughlin. He joins us next to talk about it. That's coming up on First Shift.
3 Stars of the Month is presented by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Do you believe that Alex Ovechkin will catch Wayne Gretzky?
Ovi, what he's doing is truly historic.
Ovechkin fires, he scores!
What a first goal. He is a can't-miss superstar.
Simply sensational! Ovechkin's in, his chance, what a goal!
Alexander Ovechkin, unstoppable.
Alexander Ovechkin adds to the highlight reel.
Ovi's open, one-timer, score!
And that's why a lot of folks call him the best player in the game today.
You have just witnessed the 800th goal.
Only one great left to hunt down, and that's the great one.
Here's Ovechkin! Got it! Another hat trick, 13 away from history.
The chase continues. He's now 7 away from tying Wayne Gretzky.
It's 888 for the Great 8.
Puts 3 of a kind into the chase. He can see the mountaintop from here.
890. He's got 5 to go. Goal 891 and an ovation by all.
There's Ovechkin score! Goal number 892.
One of the best shots of the season. He is 3 goals away from the record.
Alex Ovechkin has Wayne Gretzky dead ahead. 1 to tie. Here's a pass. Ovechkin scores! The Great 8 stands side by side with the Great 1. Cross ice. Ovechkin fires. Score!
Alex Ovechkin scores 895. There's a new goal-scoring champion, and his name is Alexander Ovechkin.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. And here, a tweet from our guy, Craig Laughlin. Ovi is the best. 895. Are you kidding me? This record will never be broken. Should never say never, but I am. But he is saying it's never going to be broken. We'll see. Hopefully we'll be around for a long time. We can see what happens. But joining us now is Craig Laughlin, just after a little workout today, looking very jacked, very pumped up, looking good. Locker, first of all, we're so happy to have you back. You went through a little bit of a health issue, missed some time, but you're looking great, and you got back in the booth for the big moment.
Yeah, I mean, open heart surgery, I thought I'd be out longer. It was 7 to 8 weeks. And, you know, as players, you always mark down when you want to come back. And I had penciled in the game against Buffalo, actually, right at my surgery date, February 4th. And I said to my family, I said, I'm coming back for that Buffalo game, and I'm going to do everything possibly within myself to make sure I do, because I wanted to see, and the last game I think I did on the road, in Ottawa, I said to Ovi, just wait for me, buddy. Don't get it before. And sure enough, it worked out just spectacularly with that Sunday game, the crowd, then him getting the record last night. I'm so fortunate to be part of his legacy, calling all the goals. The only problem with that clip that you guys showed, too much Joe, not enough me.
not enough Locker. Well, you got the whole camera now, my friend.
Yeah.
It's all you now, and we're going to take advantage of that. You know, really going back perhaps 4 or 5 years, and back when it was just kind of a remote-ish concept, Locker, we start thinking about, you know what? Ovi's really in a position where he could do something pretty special here. So I know, like, EJ and I have been following it. You, of course, and Joe have been following it. What's it mean for you, especially given your circumstances? And I would echo EJ, glad to see you healthy, happy, and vibrant again. But what's it mean to you personally, just to have been a part of? I mean, this is a legacy moment in our game. This is a really unique moment in our game, a record none of us ever thought would fall. What's that mean to you?
Absolutely. Unattainable, unreachable. You would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, there's no way he can touch Gretzky's goal-scoring record. The game has got better. The game has got faster. The goalies have got better. The schemes that these coaches put out are trying to prevent goals like crazy.
Yeah.
And they know it's coming, but you still can't stop our captain. It's been an amazing run from day one against Columbus. For us to win the lottery to grab him, remember, we were like third in line there. There was a couple of teams ahead of us. We had like a 14 or 15% chance to get the first overall pick, which was, 20 some years yesterday. And we happened to get him. And we didn't know. I thought he'd be a 500 goal scorer. I thought that's a lot of goals, right? Like Peter Bondra had 500 and some goals. He was going to score 500 and some goals. But what we're seeing here, this is over and above hockey, I think, and I think it's over and above sports. It's right up there with the 4 majors. It's Michael Jordan. It's the great baseball players, the great basketball players that have played over my time. I mentioned, you showed that tweet, which I love, and I said, and I'll say it again, I will be in my grave before someone ever beats Ovi, because he's going to keep adding to it. And I mentioned to him after the game yesterday, I said, I think 1,000 sounds pretty good, buddy. And he just sort of smirked, as did his wife. But, man, he can easily be 950 plus if he continues to play the way he is.
Yeah, that's what I'll ask you, because you've seen the whole career. You know this guy very well. You've been around him since he was a young, a teenager coming into the National Hockey League. You've seen him have a family, win a Stanley Cup, all these different things. He seems to have a passion to score and a passion for hockey. How long do you think he wants to play? I mean, is he going to? I agree with you. I think he could get 1,000 based on the fact that he's got 42 goals in 61 games this year. Do you think he'll play long enough, or is that something we'll just have to all wait and see? What's your I guess, guess about that?
Well, the thing is, the guess comes down to a lot of circumstances, like his contract's up next year. He's mentioned to the Russian media that he may want to go back and play in Moscow, his hometown, where his wife and him are revered, obviously. But I think if he gets rolling here and has this type of season, he missed 16 games this year. Had he not missed that, guys, he would be at 50 plus. And that, to me, should energize him. It should enthuse him. It should show him that, the Washington Capitals fans showed him so much love on Friday night. We don't want him to leave town. We want him to be re-upped. I think that's all in his hands. I mean, Ted Leonsis, the fans, the franchise, we all want Ovi to come back. But that's going to come down to, does he want to have his twilight careers over in Russia, where he is revered and loved in his hometown, which a lot of players, like you ask NHL players, even myself, my last year, I wanted to play in my hometown because my parents had never seen me play, nor had my brothers and sisters. It just wasn't the time when they could travel and see me play, so I wanted them to see me play. And case in point, I was absolutely awful in Toronto, so maybe I shouldn't have went there. That was one bad year. And don't even look up the stats because it was horrible. And so at the end of the day, maybe that's not the best thing. But, I mean, we love Ovi. Ovi will be celebrated, I think, Thursday night. I think he'll also be celebrated Wednesday or Friday in downtown D.C. You know, he's already got the key to the city.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to give him a bigger key. And no, we want him. And I think he can easily, if he keeps playing the way he is, and I think he's energized because of the guys we brought in, the locker room, I've never seen it like it is. I mean, when they win, it's like a party in there. Like they are cheering on each other. They're a big family. To me, that's a good sign. And I think that, you know, when you look at it, I hope he stays. I hope he hits 1,000. I think that would be something extraordinary, over the top, to leave then and go back to Russia.
Locker, we've just crowned, as astonishing as this sounds, we've just crowned the new NHL goal-scoring champion of all time. I mean, we're talking about 100 years of hockey here. But be specific, for the untrained eye, what is it about Ovi and his unique ability to find the back of the net so frequently? What is it about his game, the skill set, that release? What are the elements that go into making this guy, number 8, the greatest goal scorer of all time?
Well, Stu, number one, I don't think you can teach it. This is something that he was born with when his mom and dad had him as a young kid and said, if you want to play hockey, you've got to be great in a lot of aspects and skills of the game. I think he's underrated it with two things that lead him to score more goals, or two or three things, but two things for sure. He's a better passer than you think. And if you can pass well, you're probably going to get it back, right? And you're going to have an opening to make that shot. Like if he can't pass well, yeah, he can get open, but then you're sort of forcing it to him. So I think the passing is one of the things. His release can't be taught. I think when he caught that puck yesterday, it was 86 miles an hour as a wrist shot. Now, he's back in the old school days. He's like a Bobby Hull as far as his upper body, being able to shoot with just his arms. I think that is something that you can't teach. That's inherent strength. And number 3, to me, I've been around him a lot. The love of the game, guys. He wants to get better. He practices all the time. There's no days off for the grade 8 unless he's nicked up or a little fatigued. But he'll come out, take a little twirl for 15 minutes, take some shots, but that's setting him up for the game. And then, of course, you got to look at his diet. Maybe that's something I should get into. The spicy sub, the Cheetos, obviously the sushi, which is by far his favorite thing to eat. Maybe that's the key to his longevity, because it's been wonderful to watch.
Hey, before we let you go, Locke, I just want to ask you had a debut there earlier in the week. Ryan Leonard showed up. You have number 8. Now you have a number 9 there. Give me your thoughts on the first few games of Ryan Leonard.
Well, you know, I think a lot of coaches often say, and will often say, for example, if they scratch a young kid, and Ryan hasn't been scratched yet, they always say, well, if he could only play better away from the puck. Well, I'll tell you this about Ryan Leonard. He was well schooled at Boston College. He's playing well with and without the puck, and that's something that I think the Caps really noticed when they drafted him 8th overall. This is a guy that's going to be a big part of our top 6 for the years to come. I mean, no doubt about it. He plays a hard, straight-line game. He's got a wicked shot. When I watch him shoot the puck, it's amazing. When I talked to him after the game last night, I was kidding him. Well, you got one empty netter. You're going to try Ovi's stick. And he's already tried it once. And he says, there's no way. I can't shoot with that stick. And I was laughing at that because before long, he'll try it in practice like all young kids do. They want to get the feel for the Ovi stick and curve and stuff like that. But he's amazed me because he's got good first speed. He was the best player, guys, not playing in the NHL among draft picks, in my mind. And a lot of pundits said the same thing. And he's impressed me over his first 4 games. Lots of hits, involved, playing top 6 minutes, playing around 15 minutes on average. He's going to be really good, especially with our injury concerns heading into the playoffs. He's going to have to up his game even more because the Caps will practice Wednesday, guys. They'll practice without Protas. We're not sure about Logan Thompson, so we're going to have to wait and see what the line formation will be for Carberry come Wednesday.
All right. Well, first of all, Craig, again, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm so happy you're back healthy. You do look great. Caught up just in time. And I was able, when you were talking, to look up your stats at last year in Toronto. 122 points. What do you mean you had a bad year? It was a big
that
year.
Must have been the Toronto Marlies or something, not the Toronto Leafs.
Locker, thanks for the time, buddy. You're the best.
Oh, wait a sec. One thing.
All right.
Stu, get to the gym.
I will do. I will do. You'll be seeing the gun show next time we're on together. You bet.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Boy, he is feeling feisty. Taking you on.
He's taking a run at me.
Good luck. You're on your own.
Where's that guy live?
You're on your own with
Where's that guy live?
The Frozen Four is coming up, and Pat Ferschweiler, the head coach of Western Michigan, taking his school to the big dance. We're going to talk to Pat next on First Shift. The Western Michigan Broncos, they punch their ticket to the Frozen Four. They will see you in St. Louis. And Thursday night, they take on the University of Denver, trying to win a national title. The national title game will be on Saturday. And joining us now is their head coach, Pat Ferschweiler. And Pat, thanks so much for the time today. Congratulations. I'm doing the homework on you. You played as a Bronco there, 116 games, 95 points, 30 goals. You had a really good college career. You played some minor league hockey. You've been coaching for a while now. You coached in the NHL. But this has got to be special to take your alma mater now to the Frozen Four.
Well, it is a special. I believe, Western Michigan is a world-class university. I couldn't be more excited to be back here leading this program that I was former captain of. It's just so proud and happy for this group of special young men, to achieve what they've achieved so far. We're extremely happy, but certainly not satisfied yet. We know we have 2 games left.
Pat, talk a little bit about the buzz in the room. Of course, this is your objective every year. You set out at the front end of the season, but to actually see this materialize now, and your group is all that much closer to a national championship. What's the buzz like with respect to your group, and maybe just a little bit about the identity, the culture of your Broncos, this iteration of them?
Yeah, well, we set out as a goal to get better every day at the start of the season. And I think this group has done a great job of staying focused and in the moment. So our job is to be 100% present here today, every day. And I think we've done that. And we know we're singularly focused on the game on Thursday without looking ahead and certainly never looking back. And our identity has been a group that cares about each other, that loves to come to the rink, that loves to work every day. And again, that singular focus we've had every day has really, really helped us achieve this year.
I want to ask you about your goalie, Hampton Sklukinski, because I got to call the World Juniors this year and Team USA. He was part of that team. He was very good when called upon in that tournament. They won a gold medal, and he's had an unbelievable year for you guys out there. I think the number is a .923 save percentage this year. I mean, obviously, you want to win hockey games, you need to have good goaltending. He's been a key guy for you.
Well, he has, and Hampton's a star, and we knew that coming in. He's won everywhere he's went. He's been an elite goaltender everywhere he's been. And what I know about Hampton is there's never a moment that's too big for that young man. And he's exactly what you want out of a goaltender. He's calm, and he's prepared. And I think those 2 things going together for any goaltender is a great combination. And for us, he's been a star.
Pat, just sticking with goaltending, has that been a little bit tricky? I mean, Hampton, as I understand it, a rookie, steps in, he's having an incredible year. Maybe an essential element to club success. But how do you manage that? Because by contrast, or on the other hand, you've got Cameron Roan, you've kind of divided the workload between those 2. How has that worked? And maybe just a comment about the respect, the admiration, maybe the humility between these 2 guys. There has to be a pretty special relationship there.
Well, it was special, and Cameron Rowe's leadership and guidance has started this off on the right foot. We committed Hampton in the summer, and I had told Cam we were going to bring someone in here to challenge him for ice time this year. Having him, he's moving on from the program after this year. It's his senior year, and we committed Hampton, and my phone rang right away when it was announced. It was Cameron Rowe, and the first thing he said to me is, "Coach, can I get Hampton's number? I want to be the first one to welcome him to the team." And knowing he was going to challenge him for ice time, I thought that was an exceptional start to the relationship. Yeah. And he's been a mentor to Hampton the entire year. They split time up until the last couple of weekends of the year. And then we figured before playoffs, we had to go with one guy. And at that point, Hammer's game was a little sharper, so we went with Hampton. And he's obviously rewarded us with exceptional play.
So, Pat, you're going to see an old friend here, NCHC rival, Denver, in the first national semifinal. It's the first game on Thursday. I mean, you've played them twice. There was a regulation win and overtime loss. What do you make about Denver? You must know these guys pretty well. You've played them over the last several years.
We have. We played them a third time in the NCHC Frozen Face-Off Championship as well. We had an overtime win. So we know them well. We know that David Carl's as good as coach as there is in the country. His teams are organized. They're talented. They play with exceptional speed and skill. But we've had a decent recipe of success against them. We know we're gonna focus on the Broncos, playing our best brand of hockey, which is a heavy, fast North brand, and try to get them to defend as much as possible.
You know, just talk a little bit about the tournament. I mean, really, this is a rather novel opportunity for your program. As a coach, how do you kind of transition or maybe mentor these young men to a moment like this, and be as granular as you can? What elements are you trying to try and tease out here as you take these guys into the, ostensibly the biggest moment of their young careers?
Well, we talk and all the time as a program that nerves are for the unprepared. This group prepares every single day. We practice extremely well. We practice fast. We practice hard. So our belief comes from the work that we put in every day. So we're not going to be distracted by noise. This program has great belief in themselves. They have great belief in their teammates, and they have great belief in what we're trying to accomplish here. So I think that way is just a good way to stay focused on what we're doing, stay focused on Broncos, and make sure that we're giving our best come Thursday.
Pat, I mentioned it earlier. You played there, and I know that you're focused on coaching right now. Maybe when it's all over, you think about it, but to play there, this team has never gone. This school has never gone to the Frozen Four, a chance to win a national title. I mean, I know you're in the moment. I know you're focused on your guys, but this is special. I'm sorry. If that would have been me in that situation, it would be hard to stay focused. You do a really good job at it because you're a terrific coach, but this is a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal, and trust me, the moment has not gone by me. I've sat back and enjoyed it as alumni. I've heard from lots and lots of alumni that are re-engaged in the program, that are coming to the Frozen Four, that are excited about our success, as I am. But again, we're going to stay focused on Thursday while enjoying the moment as well. This is college athletics. This is supposed to be fun every day, and we try to make it fun every day and enjoy the moment without getting lost or distracted in it.
Pat, any coach that kind of arrives at this level of competitive hockey, you look back over your career, both as a coach and as a player, there are mentors, there are folks that have been influential in just who you are as a coach today. Having served 4 years under Blashill in Detroit, I have to believe you carry some of that into the mix, but maybe just who have been the influential figures in your past that kind of inform who you are as a coach today?
Well, I've been lucky enough to have many, and I always say that every coach you play under, you work with, you've been around, writes a chapter in your coaching book, and some are bigger chapters, some are just one page, but they're all valuable in their own way. And certainly Andy Murray. I was with him here at Western Michigan as well, has taught me the gift of being, over-prepared. And that means you're never surprised on the bench with anything that happens. Jeff Blashill has been an immense, probably the biggest influence in my career. Jeff has an unrelenting will to win and prepare and never accept an excuse. Even as some of our rosters in Detroit were maybe not as good as we wanted to be, but he just came in every day and said, how are we going to win tonight? No excuses. And it was pretty great that way, his drive. I was lucky enough to have a former NHL coach, Paul McLean, coach me in the minors. He was one of my biggest influences as a player, and the way I approach things. Paul's calm. He loves offense. And then I would be remiss to not include my junior coach and a guy I had in the IHL, Mark Kaufman, who's been a longtime coach now in the NHL and also at Ferris State. He's really the one who started me out in junior hockey, learning to love to work at the game and understanding what it took to be successful as a player, but now successful as a coach and as a leader as well.
I remember the one year I spent in L.A., you mentioned Andy Murray, an influence of yours. I had Andy my 1 year as an L.A. King. I'm wondering, like Andy, are your players getting that 7 a.m. one-pager under the door of their hotel room on game day? Are your guys expecting that?
They are not, unfortunately, but maybe they miss it. I'm not sure, but we certainly have different styles. But I've taken a lot from Coach Murray, and I couldn't have more respect for the way he prepares. But we're a little lighter-hearted approach around here, and I think my job as a coach is to be a great simplifier, not a complicator, and let these guys. My job is to show them a path to success every day, and that's what we try to do with our players. We never want a Bronco player playing with fear of failure. We want him to play with a path to success and a belief in himself.
Well, Pat, thanks so much for the time today. It was great to chat with you. Good luck on Thursday. I know you get your hands full. Denver's got a great program. We've seen what David Carl can do. You guys have had some great games this season. I'm sure we're going to get another one Thursday. And let's see, you get all the way to the end. If you guys win it, I want to get you back on here because I still think that's a great story to go there and then to the first national title possibly in school history. That'd be awesome. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you.
All right, Pat Ferschweiler, the head coach at Western Michigan University. We come back. April 6th, it turns out, is a pretty big day in hockey history, Capitals history, OV history. We'll talk about that next on First Shift.